Let's talk Tanya for the second of Adar. Yesterday we introduced the idea of mivachenle, of crushing the ego, not through rationalizing with oneself or with the animal soul, but by screaming and intimidating the animal soul. Why does this work? The answer, the Alter Rebbe says, is that we need to understand the nature of the animal soul. The animal soul, after all, it's klipa. Klipa is the name that's used for the forces of unholiness. But the name klipa is very instructive, because what does klipa mean? The word klipa literally translates as a shell or a husk. Why is klipa called a shell? Because what is klipa? Klipa's job is to distort the truth, to lie. And because it's its name, you can argue it's not that klipa lies. Klipa is a lie. That's what its definition is. Its definition is that its job is to distort the truth, that we shouldn't see the truth. You can argue that klipa is darkness. Now, how do you get rid of darkness? You get rid of darkness by shining a light. How do you get rid of a lie? By telling the truth. Because klipa doesn't have any substance other than the fact that it is obscuring the truth. The moment the truth is revealed, the klipa should no longer exist. Which raises the question. Every single one of us, we have an animal soul, which is the lie, and the darkness. We have a godly soul, which is the truth and the light. So shouldn't the light of the godly soul automatically expel the darkness of the animal soul? And the answer is yes. It actually doesn't make any sense that our animal soul can assert itself in any which way in the face of the godly soul. However, if the animal soul would just melt away every time it was in the presence of the godly soul, we wouldn't have any free choice. We wouldn't have any struggle. And that's not the plan. So what did God do? He gives the animal soul, the darkness, the lie, he gives it the power to be able to stand up against the truth and the light, even though that makes no sense. It's illogical. But, and here's the important but, the moment that the godly soul asserts itself, the moment the godly soul stands up and stands up to the animal soul, then the light and the truth of the godly soul is automatically going to dispel the darkness and the lie of the animal soul. And that's why screaming at the animal soul works. Why? Because that is the godly soul standing up and standing firmly, standing up against the animal soul and screaming at it. And when that happens, the animal soul is just going to shrink away. In Tanya, the Alter Rebbe also applies this to the idea of sfeikos be'emunah, which means doubts about God. Most of us, we experience these, some more often, some less often. Is there a God? Isn't there a God? Is the Torah really true? Is the Torah not really true? Was the Torah given at Sinai or not? And usually the way that we deal with it is we start engaging those thoughts and arguing with those thoughts, intellectually countering those thoughts. And Alter Rebbe says that's a mistake. You're arguing with a lie. You're arguing with darkness. The way to stand up to these thoughts is simply by screaming at them and saying, hey, I'm a Jew. I believe. Go away. Which doesn't mean that a Jew doesn't ask questions. It doesn't mean that a Jew doesn't analyze, investigate, and explore. We do. But we do so from a place of faith. I believe in God. I believe in the Torah. And now I'm going to ask my questions and explore and get my answers. But when these thoughts just fall into me, and not questions, but doubts. There's a difference between asking a question and having a doubt. When these doubts fall in my mind, the way to deal with it is simply to understand, yeah, it's perfectly normal. I have an animal soul. That's its job. It's darkness. It is a lie. It, of course, is going to throw these thoughts in my mind. I'm going to shout at it and throw it away. There's a story that said that there was once a chassid who came to the third Rabbi of Chabad, the Tzemach Tzedek. And he told him, Rabbi, I have a problem. I have sfeikos be'emunah. I have doubts about God's existence. So the Rebbe said, okay. And what else do you want to talk about today? Chassid said, Rebbe, I don't know if you heard me. I have sfeikos be'emunah. The Rebbe says, yeah, I got that, okay. Anything else up for discussion? And the Chassid says, Rebbe, I don't get it. Did you not hear what I said? I have sfeikos be'emunah. Sometimes I have thoughts and I doubt whether God even exists. So the Rebbe says, yeah, I get that, but why is that a problem? Okay, so you have a doubt. And therefore? And the Chassid, who's now perplexed, he says, Rebbe, what do you mean? I'm a Yid, I'm a Jew. And the Rebbe says, oh, in that case, everything's fine, everything is good. Very deep story. So you're having doubts. Why is it a problem? The problem is because I'm a Jew and I believe. And because I believe, I'm bothered by these thoughts that I have from the animal soul. And once I realize that, and I identify, understand, I am a Jew and I do believe, and I'm bothered by these thoughts, I realize those thoughts aren't me. Those thoughts are coming from the darkness, from the lie. I scream at the thought and say, I know who you are. I understand you're the animal soul. I understand this is your job to try to distort the truth. Go away. Come back some other time, or don't come back some other time. And if you do come back another time, I'll push you away again. And that is the way to deal with darkness, is by standing up to it. With this, we've concluded the mivachenle, the crushing method of screaming and intimidation. And tomorrow we will start chapter 30, and we will talk about a different method of mivachenle, the last method of crushing one's ego.